I talked to him, I said, look, I can hang off the top of that wing. I really think I can do that. That's the movie, that's us testing. We're just trying to figure it out.
Tom Cruise, Hollywood's golden boy, the unstoppable action hero, the man who's performed his own death-defying stunts for decades, has always been at the center of the spotlight. Whether it's for his unforgettable roles in Top Gun, Mission Impossible, or Jerry Maguire, or for his headline-grabbing love life, Tom has never escaped public intrigue. But behind the carefully managed smiles, the iconic sunglasses, and the Scientology controversies lies a truth that very few know, a confession that has stunned even his closest friends. Recently, an interview surfaced where Cruise openly admitted that there was one woman above all others who captured his heart like no one else ever could. She wasn't one of his famous wives. She wasn't even someone fans suspected. Fact, her name might completely shock you. So who was this mystery woman? Why did Tom keep her identity hidden for so long? What does this revelation mean for the legacy of Hollywood's most enigmatic star? Let's dive deep into the love, loss, and secrets of Tom Cruise's most guarded confession. Tom Cruise's love life has played out like a cinematic roller coaster, flashy, fast-paced, and impossible to look away from. His early romance with Mimi Rogers was the quiet before the storm. In 1987, the Hollywood world was buzzing when Cruise tied the knot with Rogers, an actress known for her sharp wit and confidence. But what really made headlines was that she introduced Tom to Scientology, a move that would become a defining element of his future roller coaster hips. Their marriage, though, was short-lived, ending in 1990 with whispers of tension and transformation. Then came Nicole Kidman, elegant, magnetic, and Cruise's equal in stardom. The two met on the set of Days of Thunder, and sparks flew instantly. Their 11-year marriage was a tabloid dream: red carpets, blockbuster films, and 2 adopted children. They were the it couple of the 90s. But behind the glam, cracks were forming. In 2001, Tom filed for divorce, and fans were stunned. No scandal, no clear reason. Just a curtain dropped on one of Hollywood's most beloved partnerships. Enter Katie Holmes. By 2005, Tom's love life took a surreal turn. Who could forget him literally jumping on Oprah's couch, shouting his love for Katie? It was chaotic, passionate, and unforgettable. They married in a lavish Italian ceremony in 2006 and had a daughter, Suri. For a while, it seemed like Cruise had found lasting happiness. But in 2012, Katie blindsided the world and Tom by filing for divorce with almost military precision. Rumors swirled around Scientology, control, and a fierce determination to protect her daughter. Despite these high-profile romances and dramatic endings, Cruise recently made a revelation that shocked fans. None of those relationships compared to her, a woman he now calls the true love of his life. And no, it's not one of his ex-wives. That revelation, it changes everything. Tom Cruise may be a megastar on the big screen, but off-camera, he's practically a ghost. While most A-listers flood our feeds with selfies, behind-the-scenes clips, or even birthday shout-outs to their kids, Cruise operates on radio silence. No Instagram lives, no red carpet PDA, no heartwarming Father's Day posts. Instead, Tom disappears between movie premieres, re-emerging only when he has something professionally explosive to unveil, like dangling from planes or racing through cities for Mission Impossible. The rest? Locked behind an impenetrable wall of silence. This almost surgical level of privacy has ignited conspiracy theories, tabloid rumors, and public curiosity to a fever pitch. Is it Scientology pulling the strings behind the scenes? Is it a form of damage control after the media firestorms that followed his past relationships? Or is it simply a masterclass in brand control, keeping the world guessing and always wanting more? What we do know is this: Cruise hasn't always been this guarded. Early in his career, he was more open, more expressive. But after the media vultures tore into his split with Nicole Kidman and later devoured every frame of his whirlwind with Katie Holmes, something shifted. He retreated. He built walls. He became the ultimate enigma, forever smiling on red carpets, but never letting the world see what's behind the grin. So when Tom Cruise, this Tom Cruise, quietly admits that there is someone he considers the love of his life, it sends shockwaves. Because if someone this private, this guarded, this battle-worn by fame is still carrying a torch, that means it was real. And maybe, just maybe, that love was the one thing he couldn't outrun, couldn't forget, and couldn't bury beneath all the fame and stunts. And whoever she is, you better believe that story is just getting started. When it comes to Tom Cruise, there's one shadow that always looms large over his love life: Scientology. His loyalty to the church isn't just personal, it's foundational. Cruise isn't just a follower, he's their poster child, their most famous ambassador. And with that title comes a level of scrutiny and control that most people couldn't even begin to imagine. Over the years, explosive reports have alleged that Scientology leaders didn't just advise Cruise on his personal life, they orchestrated it. Former insiders claim the church held secret auditions to find him a suitable wife after his split with Nicole Kidman. Yes, auditions, like casting a movie, but this time the role was Mrs. Cruise. It's the stuff of Hollywood horror stories, yet these rumors persist, fueled by whispers from ex-members and former insiders. Nicole Kidman, once considered a golden match for Tom, reportedly clashed with the church. Her doubts allegedly turned her into a suppressive person, a label that made her a liability. Their divorce came shortly after. Then there was Katie Holmes, who, according to sources, planned her escape like a covert mission. She filed for divorce in secret, took custody of their daughter Suri, and vanished from Tom's religious world like smoke in the wind. So now, imagine the shock when Cruise revealed that the true love of his life wasn't a fellow Scientologist, not even close. In fact, she may have had nothing to do with the church at all. That one revelation has fans and critics alike asking, was this relationship kept hidden because it was pure? Because it was untouched by Scientology's grip? Was she the one woman Tom couldn't introduce to that world? Or was he, just this once, trying to protect something real, something sacred, from the very force that had shaped every other relationship he's ever had? Whatever the truth is, it sends a chilling message. Even Hollywood's biggest star might be powerless in the face of a belief system that controls everything, except his heart. And here it is, the bombshell you didn't see coming. After all the speculation, all the whispers, and all the secrecy, Tom Cruise has finally named the woman he calls the love of his life. And no, it's not Nicole Kidman. It's not Katie Holmes. It's not even someone tied to Scientology. It's Penelope Cruz. Yes, that Penelope Cruz, the stunning Spanish actress he met on the set of Vanilla Sky back in 2001. Their chemistry lit up the screen, but what most people don't know is that it didn't stop there. Away from the paparazzi and the flashing lights, Tom and Penelope began a relationship that lasted quietly for nearly 3 years, from 2001 to 2004. Unlike his other romances, This one flew mostly under the radar. Why? Because this wasn't about headlines or Hollywood power games. It wasn't about tabloid frenzy or church approval. It was real. Penelope had her own empire, her own spotlight. She didn't need Tom's, and maybe that's exactly why it worked. Behind the scenes, sources say she brought him peace, a calm in the chaos. She wasn't intimidated by his fame, nor was she interested in playing into the Cruise brand. She grounded him. And now, years later, Tom has said it himself in a rare emotional reveal. Penelope, she saw me. Not the actor, not the persona. She saw me. And that's something I've never forgotten. That one statement stopped fans in their tracks. After all the couch jumping and tabloid drama, here was Tom Cruise, Hollywood's most elusive leading man, finally admitting that the greatest love of his life was the one relationship that never burnt out in public view. No scandals, no explosive fallout. Just something real that ended, but clearly never truly left him. And now, fans are asking, could this be the one that got away? Or is there still hope for a rekindled flame? So if Penelope Cruz was truly the love of Tom Cruise's life, then why didn't they go the distance? Why no wedding, no fairy tale ending, no Hollywood happily ever after? Well, as with so many chapters in Tom's life, the answer appears to be tied almost inevitably to Scientology. While Penelope was reportedly open-minded and respectful of Tom's beliefs, she drew a firm line when it came to converting. According to insiders close to the couple, the church allegedly wanted full buy-in from anyone in Tom's inner circle, especially his romantic partners. That pressure began to build behind the scenes, and it started to chip away at the relationship. Penelope, fiercely independent and deeply rooted in her own values and culture, wasn't willing to lose herself to the expectations of a religion she didn't align with. And Tom, by then deeply embedded in the church's hierarchy, couldn't break free from the grip it had on his life. So what could have been a passionate, grounded love story ended in a whisper instead of a bang. There were no explosive tabloid headlines, no public blowouts, just a quiet parting of ways, two people walking in different directions, despite the love still lingering between them. But here's where it gets really emotional. For years, Tom never spoke much about Penelope. She was like a closed chapter, one the public thought he had moved on from. That's what made his recent confession so startling, that after all these years, with all the relationships that came and went, it's still Penelope he thinks about. Still her that sees the man behind the mask. And that one revelation leaves fans with a haunting question. In a world where fame, control, and belief systems didn't get in the way, would Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz have ended up together? Or was she always meant to be the one that got away? The one he never stopped loving? Penelope Cruz has always been the epitome of grace under pressure. In an industry where breakups are dissected like crime scenes and every ex turns into a headline, she's done the exact opposite. No tell-all books, no cryptic Instagram posts, no late-night talk show jabs. When it comes to Tom Cruise, Penelope has remained the definition of classy. Silent, but never dismissive. Over the years, when interviewers have tried to bait her into commenting on her high-profile relationship with Cruise, she's offered only respectful nods. She's never played the victim. She's never hinted at scandal. And yet, there's always been a quiet undertone in her words, a sense of genuine affection wrapped in the kind of maturity most of Hollywood seems to lack. Since then, Penelope has built a beautiful life with actor Javier Bardem. The two share children and a reputation as one of the most rock-solid couples in the business. But even fans of her current love story can't help but remember the fire she shared with Cruise. The electricity, the connection. There was something different there, something that didn't need to be screamed from the rooftops to feel absolutely undeniable. And that begs the question, did she feel it too? Was Tom Cruise not just a chapter in her past, but the chapter that changed everything? There's a mystery in her silence, a powerful one. Sometimes, what's not said speaks volumes. Maybe she loved him just as deeply. Maybe she knew that being with him meant stepping into a world of control, of scrutiny, of religious politics she couldn't accept. So she stepped away, quietly, with dignity. But here's the twist. When Tom recently opened up and called her the love of his life, the world waited for her response. And true to form, she gave none. Because sometimes, the most unforgettable love stories are the ones that never needed words. There's a reason Vanilla Sky stands out in Tom Cruise's filmography, and it's not just because of its surreal visuals or haunting plot twists. It's because it captured something raw, something unguarded. In the film, Cruise plays David Ames, a man grappling with love, loss, and a reality that keeps slipping through his fingers. And right there beside him was Penelope Cruz, not just as a co-star, but as the woman who would, off-screen, become something far more significant. The emotional undercurrent of Vanilla Sky feels almost too real, like the camera accidentally caught glimpses of something deeply personal. The chemistry between Tom and Penelope wasn't just for show. It bled into every look, every pause, every heart-wrenching scene. You can see it, the longing, the tenderness, the quiet ache of someone who has finally found something real and knows it might not last. But after their relationship ended, a shift occurred. Cruise's performances grew colder, sharper. The emotional vulnerability of Vanilla Sky gave way to roles that were pure adrenaline. Collateral, War of the Worlds, Jack Reacher, and the increasingly stoic Mission: Impossible franchise. He became the unstoppable action hero, untouchable, unbreakable, unreachable. It's almost as if Tom sealed off that emotional part of himself, retreating into characters who never had to cry, never had to lose someone they truly loved. The romantic softness was gone, replaced by grit and gunfire. And maybe that was the point. Maybe, after Penelope, love became too risky, too painful. And yet, Vanilla Sky remains, a time capsule of sorts, a film where Cruise wasn't just playing a man in love, he was a man in love. That rare moment when art didn't just imitate life, it revealed it. So when fans look back on Tom's most emotionally authentic role, it's no mystery. Vanilla Sky wasn't just a movie, it was a glimpse into a love story that was all too real and perhaps never fully closed. There's a chapter in Tom Cruise's life that remains wrapped in mystery, and it revolves around his daughter, Suri Cruise. Born in 2006 during his whirlwind marriage to Katie Holmes, Suri was once front and center in the media frenzy surrounding Tom's personal life. But after their shocking divorce in 2012, Katie took full custody and disappeared from the Scientology-dominated orbit that surrounded Cruise. Since then, Tom has rarely, if ever, been seen with his daughter in public. And that silence? It speaks volumes. Many believe that this emotional distance isn't just about privacy, it's about control, about Scientology, about Tom's struggle to balance the institution that defines so much of his public life with the deeply personal connections that keep slipping through his fingers. Losing contact with Suri may not have been a simple custody issue. It might have been the final crack in a heart that was already fractured. Now here's where it gets really gripping. When you look back, there's a haunting pattern. After Penelope Cruz, Tom seemed desperate to regain that emotional connection. Enter Katie Holmes. For a brief moment, it looked like he found it again. Public affection, a daughter, a new start. But it unraveled just as quickly. And when Katie left, she didn't just leave the marriage. She escaped, quietly and strategically, taking their daughter with her and cutting all ties with the church. For Tom, the emotional fallout might have been devastating. He didn't just lose a partner, he lost his child. And that kind of heartbreak doesn't fade with time or fame. So now, when Tom opens up and names Penelope as the love of his life, fans can't help but wonder, is this about nostalgia? Or is it a confession steeped in regret? Maybe it's not just about Penelope at all. Maybe it's about everything he lost in the years that followed, including the emotional closure he never got with his daughter. And maybe, just maybe, Tom Cruise is still chasing something he let slip away, both in love and in fatherhood. At 62, Tom Cruise remains the king of high-octane stunts and jaw-dropping action. He's still sprinting across rooftops, clinging to aeroplanes, and delivering the kind of adrenaline-pumping performances that made him a global icon. But beneath that fearless exterior, something has shifted. And it's something fans didn't see coming. In a rare and deeply revealing interview, Cruise opened a door he's kept firmly shut for decades. He didn't talk about a stunt, a film, or even his career. He talked about Penelope Cruz, about love, about what he lost. And suddenly, the man who's spent years dodging questions about his private life let the mask slip. This wasn't just another celebrity confession. This was vulnerability. Raw, unfiltered, and unexpected. Tom Cruise has always seemed invincible, right? Untouchable. The kind of star who could outlast scandals, outwork his critics, and outrun time itself. But now, we're seeing a different version of Tom. One who's not just reflecting on his past, but quietly confronting it. One who seems to be asking, did I choose the right path? Or did I sacrifice something real, someone real, for the sake of image, loyalty, and control? His admission about Penelope Cruz is more than just a headline. It's a symbol, a clue, a moment that peels back decades of silence and strategy. And for fans who followed him through every blockbuster, every public romance, and every strange Scientology moment, this is a powerful turning point. Because what if the biggest mission impossible in Tom Cruise's life wasn't dangling from skyscrapers or flying fighter jets, but finding and keeping real love? He's given us action. He's given us a spectacle. But in this rare moment of truth, Tom Cruise may have delivered something even more valuable: authenticity. And maybe, just maybe, that's the role he was born to play all along. So what do you think? Was Penelope Cruz truly the love of Tom Cruise's life? Could they have made it, if not for the weight of religion and fame? Or is this just one more chapter in the incredibly complex story of one of Hollywood's most private stars? Let us know in the comments what you think about this surprising confession and your favorite Tom Cruise romance from the past. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another Hollywood bombshell. We've got more jaw-dropping stories coming your way, and trust us, you don't want to miss what's next. Until then, thanks for watching.